Hey guys, it's your Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to Top 10 Scariest British Criminals. And we're going to get right into this one. And I get this one from Most Amazing Top 10. So that's where I'm getting this video from, guys. So if you're new to my channel and it's your first time here, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face and enjoy. To all my regulars, my schmegglers, my day ones, my sweetie pies, my sweetie poos, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face and enjoy. Don't forget to, who are you saying hi to? Don't forget to go in the comment section. Yes. Don't forget to go in the comment section. Tell me what you'd like me to react to next because it will be done. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Here we go now.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you guys should check it out. You guys can click right over here. But let's get right into this one. So today we're going to be talking about some of Britain's most dangerous and hideous criminals that have shocked the nation. So this is the top 10 scariest British criminals, and that's why we have Jack to help us out with this one.
I'm on number 10?
You're the criminal, yeah. So at number 10 we have Jack.
Coming in at number 10, Charles Bronson, probably the most notorious British prisoner of all time and a very apt entry to kick off this list. Bronson is so infamous in the British criminal world that he's even been portrayed on the silver screen by the one and the only Tom Hardy. Born Michael Gordon Peterson on the 6th of December 1952, he later changed his name to Charles Bronson after the famous American actor. While he was fighting in the British underground bare-knuckle boxing scene, Bronson has been referred to in the British press as the most violent prisoner in Britain and has spent the majority of his life behind bars after initially being sentenced for armed robbery in 1974. Although he's been released several times, Bronson has always ended up back behind bars and was given a discretionary life sentence in 1999. Despite this, in recent years, Charles Bronson has changed his name to Charles Salvador after taking up life as an artist and reportedly turning over a new leaf. He has pleaded his reform on numerous occasions, stating that Charles Bronson died in 2014 and that he leads a new life as Charles Salvador, hoping to be released in 2020.
Harold Shipman makes its way.
Okay, I'm kind of happy that they didn't really give too much details as to what he has done, but he has gone in and out. He's like now he's turned over a new page under a new name. Oh boy, yeah. 9.
Onto this list at number 9. He is the type of guy who will make you never trust your doctor again, and here's why. He was a British general practitioner and a serial killer who murdered at least 215 of his patients. His favorite method of killing his victims was to inject them with a lethal dose of drugs. Originally, he was only convicted of 15 murders, but after an official investigation was done, it was determined that he had killed hundreds of other people between the years of 1975 and 1998. He was convicted in January of 2000 and he was sentenced to life in prison, but he was found hanging in his cell 4 years after his trial. Could he be any more ironic? I bet he killed more than he saved as a doctor. Just so messed up.
Coming in.
What? A doctor? Over 200? I can imagine how those family for persons who have gone to him and think about their family member that has passed, that he had something to do with it. A doctor, somebody that you would consider will have the safety of your life in their hand, and he was addicted to doing that stuff then, if that's the case. Man.
Now at number 8, Ronnie and Reggie KRAY. Strangely enough, another set of British criminals that Tom Hardy has played on the silver screen, this time twice. The names Ronnie and Reggie KRAY are synonymous with the British underworld and London gangland, and you probably won't find anyone in Britain who hasn't heard of these pair. They were notorious for being the perpetrators of organised crime in the East End of London during the 1950s and 1960s, alongside their gang known originally as The Firm, which led them to be involved in such nefarious activities as murder, murder, armed robbery, hijacking, arson, protection racketeering, and countless assaults. The KRAY twins were born on the 24th of October 1933, just 10 minutes apart, to parents Charles David KRAY and Violet Annie Lee, and lived a life of such prolific notoriety that they were cemented into British culture as two of the most dangerous brothers to have ever lived.
Fred and Rose West hacked
Two of the most dangerous brother that ever lived. How crazy is that? Twins. Nah, one was a good and one wasn't, as you call it, bad. But both of them, man, wonder how their parent felt. Wonder how a parent feel when they know that they try and live a life of crime. I don't even want to think about it.
Fred and Rose West hacked their way onto number 7 on our list. They were a married couple who abducted, tortured, sexually abused, and murdered women over a period of 20 years. Their killing spree also included some of their own children. Their house on Cromwell Street contained an awful secret. Their basement was set up as a torture chamber and a graveyard. The basement was also equipped with bondage and torture devices, and they had the ability to hang their victims from the wall and ceiling. Together they might have killed around 30 women, but they were only charged with 12 murders. Fred West committed suicide before his trial started, and West is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Next up,
What? There's some sick people in this world, man. Sick, sick, sick. Even your own kids, like, not saying that it is right, but I'm just saying how heartless. And then sit down and eat taxpayer money. That I can't wrap my head around, but let's continue. Number 6. Here we go. This is crazy.
And number 6, Peter Sutcliffe. Also known as the Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe terrorised the British nation between 1975 and 1980, horrifying the public with the very specific conditions that his crimes contained. In 1981, he was convicted of murdering 13 women and suspected of the attempted murder of 7 more. Sutcliffe, who lived in the Yorkshire area of Leeds and Bradford, was believed to regularly use the services of prostitutes and claimed that the voice of God had sent him on a mission to kill these women. The nation was shocked when his modus operandi would later change, and he began killing women who weren't prostitutes, which inevitably sent the Yorkshire public into a panic. He was initially arrested for driving with false number plates when police questioned him about the killings on a chance encounter, and he confessed to being the perpetrator. Sutcliffe would later plead insanity, but his claim was later rejected, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment, where he remains to this day.
Next up on this.
Are you serious? So yeah, it's a calling to do what? Calling to do what? To rid the world of or what? I'm telling you, these people use God as an excuse for so many things. Then he changes plea. Yeah? Then you change a plea. I cannot wrap my mind how some people can be so heartless. It don't make no sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just, it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. No, sir. Let's move on to number 5.
Creepy list, and at number 5 we have Amelia Dyer. She was originally trained as a nurse, but she eventually switched her career path and decided to take a stab at baby farming. This was a practice of adopting unwanted babies in exchange for money. She would prey on mothers who couldn't afford to keep their babies, so she would offer to give them a better life, but instead, she pocketed the money and strangled the baby to death with tape and dumped their bodies in the River Tame. She was able to get away with
No. Babies. They're so cute and sweet. Babies. Wow.
These horrific murders for over 30 years until she was caught and hung for her crimes. But she managed to murder at least 400 babies during her murdering spree in the 1800s. Okay, biting his way onto this list at number
400. No, sir. Pass heartless. It pass heartless. It don't make no sense to me, people. I can't get that. That don't make no sense to me. Stephen Griffiths, number 4. Here we go.
4, we have Stephen Griffiths. He is notoriously known as the crossbow cannibal, and his story almost sounds too crazy to be real. But trust me, it is. His favorite pastime included murdering women with a crossbow and then eating their body parts. He actually turned his bathroom into a slaughterhouse where he would dismember his victims in the bathtub with power tools, and then he would start to eat his favorite body parts, in which I don't know what they are and I'm just not going to question it. So this guy actually took their body parts and stored them in the fridge until he got hungry, and then he would start cooking them in the oven. He was actually diagnosed as a very violent psychopath at the age of 17 years old, but despite all of these warning signs and red flags, he managed to kill 3 women, and now he's currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
And coming in at number...
That's one of the things I cannot wrap my mind around. You found out from such an early age that he's this kind of person, and you don't put him away or put him in a psychiatric facility. It's mind-boggling how eating another human flesh. That's the thought. Because far as no sir, this I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight, guys, but no sir.
Number 3, Dennis Nilsen. And we're about to head down the hole of one of the most gruesome serial killers in British history. Dennis Nilsen, a Scottish serial killer and necrophile who murdered at least 12 young men, more than likely more, in a series of brutal and deranged killings committed between 1978 and 1983, all of which took place at several of his residences in London, England. Nilsen's modus operandi often targeted young, homeless, homosexual men, which he lured to his 2 North London addresses through guile and deception, often plying them with alcohol and then murdering them by strangulation. He kept the bodies beneath his floorboards, sometimes for periods as long as 8 months, and would then observe the bodies in a strange, twisted ritual. He would dispose of the remains after dissecting them by either burning them on a bonfire or flushing them down a toilet. His crimes were discovered when a plumber eventually discovered the remains of bones and flesh blocking the pipes of his shared flat, and he was sentenced to life in prison, where he died in 2018 at the age of 72.
And how do we do a list?
Huh? He just died? This is madness. Madness. And look how he got caught. Because he shared a flat with somebody. So that the pipe get clogged up. Are you serious? This is madness. Past madness. No, sir. No. No.
Like this and not talk about this next guy, well, Jack the Ripper brings us to number 2. Jack the Ripper is one of England's and the world's most infamous murderers because he was never captured and his identity remains unknown. He terrorized the Whitechapel district of London in 1888, where he brutally murdered and mutilated at least 5 prostitutes. In each of his murders, the victims' throats would be slashed and the body would be severely mutilated, which indicated that he had some kind of knowledge about the human anatomy. Despite several investigations, the police had hundreds of suspects, but they weren't able to definitely arrest anyone. So even till this day, Jack the Ripper's identity and motive remains to be one of the biggest mysteries. Alright, question for this guy right here, Jack the... what's your last name?
Finch.
Finch, okay. Do you know the anatomy?
It's not the Ripper.
No. Do you know, how good are you with human anatomy?
Very poor.
Okay, good. So you're not Jack the Ripper?
I'm glad I'm not sure. And to finally end this gruesome list,
I've heard that name so many times, Jack the Ripper. I had no clue that he wasn't caught until this day. His identity wasn't found out. How crazy is that. So, with what he said, I'm thinking maybe this guy was a doctor or had some, in the realm of within the medical field. I'm thinking he was kind of in the medical field if he knows so much about anatomy. And he wasn't caught until this day and nobody knew. Man, it's crazy. Could be the next person standing right beside you. No, sir. Number 1.
We have one of Britain's first recorded female serial killers, Mary Ann Cotton. Known as the Black Widow, Cotton is reported to have murdered around 21 people, including 3 of her own husbands, apparently in order to collect on their insurance policies, which she would use to establish a new life, and even more horrifically, she was responsible for the death of 11 of her 13 children. Born Mary Ann Robson on the 31st of October, 18...
Hold up. Wait a second. Did they just say how much was her kids? Did I hear right? 11 of her 13 children? Children? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you, is this for real? Like,
Yeah, brush your teeth.
no, sir. Pass wicked. The Black Widow. And then she just to get the life insurance to move on to start to get on to another life. Like, no, sir, this a woman here.
32, yes, that is Halloween, in County Durham, England. Cotton's modus operandi was to use arsenic poisoning, learned from her time as a nurse, that would slowly cause gastric pain in her victims and ensure a rapid decline of health. Now, this process was mostly undetectable until it appeared that almost everyone Mary Ann Cotton knew started to die around her. It kind of raised a few red flags. She was trialed and sentenced to death by hanging on the 24th of March 1873, where she died on the gallows, not by her neck breaking, but by strangulation caused by the rope being rigged too short. Many believe that this action was deliberate. Gnarly stuff, gnarly video.
Alright, so this is the end of the video. It's glad to know you are not Jack the Ripper, I think.
Well.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much for him helping out. Guys, go check out his channel. It's doing really, really good. They're doing some pretty big things over there. Some pretty scary stuff. It's Halloween.
It is.
So this channel is going to be
coming.
massive.
Yes, guys, go check their channel out. Guys, like seriously, who does that? Our own kids, our husband. And you notice what they said? She was a what? Nurse. So she knew what she was doing. It don't make no sense to me. It's just, I'm like, it's just crippling just to listen and hear all of that. And then you see, if she had stopped at 2, maybe she wouldn't have been caught too, because they realize that it's a regular thing happening around her. Because remember, it wasn't detectable when... No, sir, but guys, if you notice, back in the days, because technology and everything wasn't so up to par, it was like they got away with so much. Man, listen, this is crazy. Don't forget to go in the comment section and tell me what you'd like me to react to next. No, sir? Kids having fun. Summer break. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Love you guys to the max. And I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you in another one. Bye.